Hi, this is Leah from the Trillium Creative. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing another one of Roxy's weekly challenges. I'm not on schedule with these weekly challenges. I'm just kind of doing them as I have time and as I get inspired to do so. So this challenge that I'm going to be doing today is Roxy's weekly challenge number 2, week number 2, and it is a pocket out of a book page. Now, what I'm going to do is make a couple. I have some already made that we can decorate at the end, but I just want to show you some examples of things that you can make them from. Now, Rachel over at Roxy Creations, she made hers out of book pages. They were about this size from what I can tell, and she didn't really do any trimming or any, cutting necessarily. She just used the size of the book page, and it's a pretty easy project, especially if you do have a page already that size that you want to use. You can then just basically fold up the bottom, whichever side you want to use, and you fold up the bottom, and then essentially you have your pocket. Now there's a couple different variations on it that you can do. If your book page is not is fairly thin, then you might want to fold over the top edge to kind of strengthen the pocket. You can also add, depending on if you want this pocket to be kind of a floating pocket, like you're going to put it, clip it into your journal or put it in a tuck or something like that, then you can also use it as a journaling space. So you could put extra paper on the back that you can write on as an extra journaling spot. Or you can just straight glue it into a journal and, glue the whole back down on the page. Or you can glue a couple sides and use it as another tuck behind, or another pocket behind. So they're very versatile, which is part of the reason why I was drawn to them. And really you don't just have to use book page. You can use any kind of paper. This is also from a book, but it has images on it. So you could use something like that. You can use sheet music. Now something like this, I did have to kind of cut down, or, because the sheets were essentially, full page like this. So you might have to do some trimming in that case. I also have used things like matte pages. Now this is from a very large atlas, and I like the paper because it's thick, almost like cardstock. So it doesn't really require any, strengthening solutions, I guess. You don't need to add extra paper to this paper to make it strong enough. But because the pages were so large, I did have to cut them down to the size that I needed for my journal. So there's a couple different varieties here. I'll just show you we'll use the regular book page, and I'll show you how to make it. Essentially, I basically already said exactly how you make the base, but you just fold it up where you want it. And I actually really like this image, so I think I may try to put that on the front. So I'm going to make kind of a small pocket on the front. Now when Rachel was doing hers, I think she kind of folded them up like a third of the way up. You can really do it any proportion that you want to do. In this challenge, Rachel specifically used flowers to decorate, and then she kind of did them where they popped up above the pocket. So they kind of became part of the pocket, and you can tuck things behind it. But you don't necessarily have to use just flowers either. I have a couple other options out here, some butterflies, some mushrooms, just because those are things that I like to use to decorate my journal with. And then I also do have some flowers. So you're going to be, you notice that the text on here is upside down now because we've flipped it up from the other side. However, I mean, you may not mind that it's upside down, and I don't necessarily mind that it's upside down. Some people that really bothers them. So, but you're going to be decorating this area most likely. So don't worry too much about that. Now I am going to fold down the top edge just a little bit because I do like to have that extra strength there at the top of the pocket. And it was just blank space anyway, so it's not really adding to the decor of it. And then we can see a little bit more of this image here. And then I think I'm going to use this as a tuck as well, or at least I want the option to use it as a tuck. So I'm going to fold down the top of the item itself. So I'm going to just fold down that top edge as well. Now I'm going to go ahead and glue those edges just using a glue stick. And then we'll go on to the next step. Now you'll notice some imagery on here. I don't really know what this is. It's just a magazine that came in. We had it for a short time. We had a subscription to the New York Times, like the actual newspaper. Came to our driveway every Sunday, I believe. And with it, a lot of times came some magazines. So I thought they would be good for glue pages. So that's what I use. Okay, so we have our top edges glued down. And you can do this a couple different ways. If you want to do any kind of inking or decorating behind the pocket, you might want to do that now before you close the pocket itself. And then you can actually close the pocket a couple different ways. Obviously you can glue it, or you can also, Rachel used a little gadget that I don't have one, but it's a stapleless stapler, where it basically crimps the edges of the page together. Now I saw someone else who was doing this challenge use an actual stapler, which I thought was kind of cool. Then, I mean, you could, if you like to sew your paper, you could actually sew the edges of the page shut, and then, you know, still have your pocket. I've done two ways. I've done the staple and I've done just gluing it, and I kind of like the look of the glue. Now I'm going to go ahead and ink this one. It already has some cool color to it, but I'm going to just kind of bring that out even more. So I'm using Vintage Photo for this. And I'm just going to do my edges here just real quickly. And then the other thing I was going to mention too is that you can, if you want to, you can round your corners on this. Or like Rachel likes to do, she likes to just snip her corners. So they're not really rounded, but then they still have kind of that look. So almost done here. And you'll notice this page, where it was ripped out of the book, there's a little bit of a rough edge there. I like that look, so I'm just going to keep that, not like trim it off. You don't really need to do inside the pocket, but my fold isn't exact, so I like to just get that edge too. All right, so that's good on that. So then the next thing, I think I'm going to go ahead and close my pocket up, and I'm going to use stapler for this. So it really, the pocket isn't that big, so it really just takes a couple. And I'm using a regular stapler for this, not my tiny attacher, because I wanted the larger staple look. It's totally up to you how you want to do that. All right, so that's our pocket. Now we're going to decorate it. I think I want to use possibly a mushroom on this one. I kind of like the look of that one. Well, let's see, do we want a pink one? I like that pink mushroom, but I think I'm going to stick with this one. A little bit more natural looking. And then I've just got a selection of scraps here to decorate with. I also have some trims that I believe I got from a kit from Roxy Creations off of Etsy. And I thought they might be kind of fun to decorate the pockets with. Also have these, and that kind of looks, that color looks good with that mushroom. And then I have some just like scrapbook paper too. Do we like that? I kind of like that blue with, maybe not the full thing. So anyways, this is just, you can decorate this obviously however you want to. You can also just make a bunch of pocket bases like this and put them in your to-do box for later, for when you're actually decorating a journal. And then you can, again, you know, like the previous... Okay, apologies for that. My teenage son came rushing into the room and didn't see that I was recording a video. So, but what I was saying was you can make a bunch of these bases and put them in your to-do box for later and decorate them, you know, as you need them for a specific journal. Now, I generally use the same kind of look or theme for my journals so far. You know, I'm kind of just starting out as far as making journals. And I really like the botanical kind of look. So I don't mind, you know, going ahead and decorating some of these and then putting them in a box to use later, because I know I'm probably most likely going to use these colors at some point and this, you know, kind of look. So I really kind of like that. It's going to need something else, I think, but do we like this? Not sure about that. Maybe this up here. I think these colors tie in together well. So maybe we need a little bit of script. Although it's on a book page, so maybe we don't. We've already got some script there. Or maybe we put a little bit more of this up here. Tear this down a little bit and see what it looks like. Try it on. Do we like that? Or maybe we put the trim on the side. Decisions. What do we think? I kind of like that. All right, we're just going to go for it. This still has some white edges, so I'm going to go ahead and ink this just to disguise those edges. So I hope you guys are joining in on the Roxy's weekly challenge, even if you're not making videos or something, you know, just participating in activity of it. It's been fun so far. I mean, I've only done 2 of the challenges so far, but I've watched Roxy Creations challenges before, you know, when she's done them in the past, but I've never participated. So I'm having fun with this. And, you know, Rachel over at Roxy's Creations, she has a very kind of antique style and botanical. She uses a lot of antique papers, but also botanical kind of theme. So I'm going to just tear this down a little bit. I should have torn it the other way. It's okay. And glue that down. So no matter what style you typically are drawn to when you're junk journaling, I'm just going to tuck that edge under that pocket. See, now it looks too short. Oh well, pull it up a little bit. So no matter what your typical style is, these pockets really work for anything because you can, like I said, you can use any kind of paper for the base. And then you can, of course, decorate it any way you want to. So the way that Rachel did her kind of focal point was that she glued it on part way and then part of the image is sticking up above. Now this is a printable and I did print it on a little bit thicker paper, not just regular printer paper. So I think this is thick enough to be able to do that. Now on some of the other ones I made, I used actual like die cuts, which are thicker to begin with anyway. Rachel used printables, but she strengthened hers by gluing them onto book page before she applied them to her pocket. Like I said, I think mine is thick enough that I'm just going to go with this. And one thing that you want to kind of make sure of is where you want to, because you don't want to glue the whole thing. So where do you want to glue it to? Now I tried this trick. I've seen a couple different people use different tricks for this. So hers had book page on the back, so she was able to kind of flip it over and look to see where the text was that she needed to glue from. A couple other people have used like cards behind the image and then flip it over. I think Tina at Shabby Dabby Doodah did that. I attempted, on the last one that I made, I used a Post-it note. So it's sticky on one side, obviously. And I just kind of placed the image where I wanted it on the pocket and then put the Post-it note down above where the pocket is and then just glued from there. So I'm going to do that again. That is not my glue. And we'll see how that goes. So with the glue stick, you're not super precise, but close enough. Just make sure I get that bottom edge there. Okay. So then we're going to use Post-it note to line it back up. And then gently remove it. So that works pretty well. No glue on the back. All right, and then I was enjoying using some labels and some postage stamps. I have some postage stamps here. This might be kind of fun. Maybe up here. Not sure on the color of that. Maybe we want something blue. Doesn't really contrast. Okay, let me look to see if I have any big labels that might work. that might be too big. Let's try. Seeing that feels too small. Actually kind of like that there. And then maybe we can have a word or something here. I also have my stamped words. Grow. Maybe something like that. Or here's another dream. Kind of like the grow. Then I have some random letters. This might be kind of fun. Yeah, I kind of like that. All right, I'm just going to ink this label. And I really just do that because this is a printable and I just want to make sure the edges aren't super white. So I'm just going to glue that down there. My page is getting gluey, so I might have to switch here in a minute. And I'm just going to go ahead and put this one down like it is. So this was some tea dyed or coffee dyed notebook paper from like an old wire bound notebook. And then I just had some scraps that I stamped words on. And I kind of like the little tails here from where it was attached to the wire spiral. All right, and I think that's pretty good for that. So then, let's see, I don't actually have any journal cards here, but you can pretty much tuck anything in this pocket that you want to. You know, anything that will fit in there. And then, like I said, you can put that down on a page. I'm probably going to do this as a tuck. Now with the staples, you have to be careful with that because your pages that you're tucking in might get a little stuck on those edges. So if it were me, I think I might go ahead and glue just this bottom edge right here, and then glue all the way up on the other side. And so then you would still have a tuck, you know, kind of from the corner, but you're not as likely to get things caught on the back side of that staple. So yeah, so that's one example. I'll show you a couple of the other ones I did. So here are some other bases that I made. I already glued down the edge for this pocket and the top edge. Here's some using some matte page. Here's one that's the pocket's a little bit deeper, using the music page. And I think if I remember right, I did that because I wanted the treble clef on there, and you see the treble clefs are on the top. And then this paper's a little bit thinner, so I strengthened it on both sides here, just so that in case I wanted to use it as a tuck. Here's just a regular book page. And here's a book page with a photograph in it. But the concept is all the same. And then let me show you a couple that I already made. So here's one on the music paper. And this image was actually from a book. So that was a fussy cut image that I got out of a book. And then I just added, you know, some labels and scrapbook paper there. And then here's another one with a butterfly and the map page behind it. And then postage stamp there. And I just added the script is a scrapbook paper. And then the butterfly is a die cut, so it's, you know, much thicker, almost like cardboard, for, you know, putting things behind it. It's going to be nice and thick there. And then you can see I rounded the corners on this one. So there's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of versatility in these. You can decorate them however you want, of course. You can round the corners or not, or snip the corners like Rachel did. And there's just a lot of options here. I hope you guys have a great day and that you're having fun with your papers, playing with your papers. And I hope this inspires you a little bit to go make a quick little project. If you want to join in on Roxy's weekly challenge, you can follow the hashtag. I'll have it in the description below. And even if you're not posting videos on YouTube, you can join on Instagram and I believe on Facebook as well, using that same hashtag. So yeah, so if you want to join in, please do. Share your projects with us, and I'll see you next time. Bye.